Hi guys, welcome back with me, Cindy, and today I will present you guys my method section on the chapter 3 of my SKRIPSI. And in today's video, uh, I will talk about all the aspects that I will present to you guys are first the research design or the methods that I will use in my SKRIPSI, and then the research participants, the research instruments, the ethical considerations, and the sequence of data collection and analysis. And then the last aspects or the last things is possible obstacles or challenges while I'm collecting the data, and then the possible solutions, how I face those obstacles or challenges. So I will start with the research design of the methods that I will use. And in my SKRIPSI, I will use qualitative methods of observation. Yeah, I will uh, I will doing an observation to collecting my data in my SKRIPSI, and the observation is to find the teacher illocutionary act, which is the utterances performed by the teacher. So it means this study will collecting words like we know that uh, qualitative methods are focused on words rather words and images rather than numbers. And collecting uh, two words, the study will use qualitative method or speech analysis of audio visual materials, and the method or the study will focus on one of the of five kinds of speech act on Sally's taxonomy, namely directives. My SKRIPSI will focus on one of the five kinds of speech acts on Sally's taxonomy, namely directives. And by using speech act analysis of audiovisual materials, this study will use Austin's framework based on Austin's three components, which are locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary act. And the paradigm that will be used in my SKRIPSI is interpretivism. Interpretivism, since speech act analysis will be used in my SKRIPSI. Yeah, and the reason why I choose interpretivism paradigm is because maybe on when I collecting the data, when I watch the recorded video, I believe that the utterances performed by the teacher is, for example, I believe that it was comments, but later another researcher will conduct a study or will doing her or his SKRIPSI and watch the same recorded video, but the researcher believed that the utterances performed by the teacher was not comments but suggest. So yeah, that's why I use interpretivism, since like the interpretivism meaning, which is The interpretivism methodology is inspired by the notion that all truth is socially built, which means that humans build their own truth about matters that are important to them, and these socially built truths are real and useful for me. But yeah, maybe later it uh, different with another researcher, with other researcher. And then second one is the research participants. The participants in my SKRIPSI are teacher, the elementary teacher of English language. Yeah, English language teacher. And then the fifth grade students with average age around 9 until 11 years old. So it means that there will be two participants in my SKRIPSI, and there are several considerations of the reason why I choose this participant. The first one is because the interaction between the teacher and the students might more interactive since this is in elementary school, which is the students have so many curiosity, so it built more interaction between the students and the teacher. And yeah, this the another reason is the teacher experience in teaching English, since uh, the teacher already experienced in teaching English, so the teacher knows how to use words when giving an instruction in English language classroom. So yeah, there were the reason why I choose these participants in my study. And then the next one is the research instruments. Since I said before, this my SKRIPSI will be about qualitative method of observation. So the instrument of this study of or my SKRIPSI is observation sheet, and the observation sheet according to Searle's five types of directive speech act, which are question, command, request, permission, and prohibition. And this or my observation sheet consists of two sections. In the first section, it will be about the types of directive speech acts that performed by the teacher and what time those directive speech acts performed. And then the second section, it will be about the types of directive speech act and the what kind or the sentences that performed by the teacher for each types of directive speech act, and then the students and the students' response after the hear or after the teacher performed the directive speech act in the classroom. And the next one is the ethical consideration. So the ethical consideration that will I use in this study is anonymity to protect the participants. So pseudonyms are used in this study. And anonymity is one of the confidentiality that can be applied. So Confidentiality requires me as a researcher for not the participants' information such as the name of the participants, gender, age, profession, and place where I gather the data. So yeah, that was the ethical consideration that that I will use in my scripts. And then the sequence of data collection and analysis. Of course, since the study has two target participants, which are the teacher and the students, like I said before, to observe to observe the class, I will watch the recorded video. So the first step is I will the consent of gatekeepers will be granted to the high school headmaster for requesting approval. And the approval will be requested unofficially to the school principal first, and then following by the institution providing an official letter to the school as the location where I will, yeah, well, the details will be retrieved. And the second step is once I got the permission from the headmaster, and I will start observe the teaching and learning on the classroom as the uh, first observation on how the classroom, the interaction between the teacher and the student in the classroom. And after I observe the teaching and learning situation, I will start collecting the recorded video and watch the recorded video to gather the data. And after I got data, the data will be transcribed to the written form to identify the utterances in the teacher directive or approval by the teacher to answer my research question number one is what illocutionary acts do teacher use when giving instructions? So this sequence on this step will help me to answer my research question number one. Uh, and then I will analyze the locutionary and perlocutionary of the directive speech acts that performed by the teacher in the classroom, and the locutionary and perlocutionary acts results will help me to answer my research question number two and research question number three are what kind of sentences do teachers use when giving instruction. This is more like uh, the sentences or yeah the sentences on uh, how the teacher give an instruction to the classroom. And the my research question number three is what are the perlocutionary effects or the students' response after hearing the teacher illocutionary acts of giving instruction. And after that, the data will be simplified based into the categories based on Austin and Settler's classification. And last, I will drawing the conclusions of all of the data that I got from the recorded video. And then the next one is possible. Oh, yeah. And then the last one or the last aspects that I will uh, present or I will talk about is the possible obstacles or the challenges that I might face during collecting the data is maybe there were not many directive speech acts performed by the teacher since it's an elementary class or elementary classroom, which is giving information is pretty much needed rather than giving an instruction in the classroom, such as the comments, requests, and or so on. So the solution that might I will use when I face this obstacle or challenges is I will change into assertiveness. Assertiveness is one of the types of is one of the five types directive acts, which is assertiveness is to what kind of information that the teacher perform when uh, the teacher teach in the classroom. And I know this is when I change to the assertiveness, it might have so much utterances and I will be more burdensome of that utterances of the teacher performed by the teacher in the classroom. It, that's okay rather than I just got one or two utterances of diabetic speech act performed by the teacher. So yeah, that's all about my method section or my chapter 3 in my SKRIPSI. So I hope guys this video will help you when you conducting a study or a SKRIPSI. Probably you will use the same methods as me, which is qualitative methods. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you on my next video. Bye.